Hello and Assalamualaikum to everyone. We are from Group 6 would like to present our topic, the implementation of RTL in ESL classroom at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Jaafar Hasan. Our members consist of me, Fatin Nabilah Binti Mohammad Asri, Siti Amiratul Fatini Binti Shahreer, and Siti Nurnajhan Binti Mohammad Sarif. Till now, education has played the most significant role in human civilization. All human life inventions from all areas of life begin with education. Without education, the ostensibly civilized world will never exist, and life will continue to follow the rule of the undergrowth. As this coronavirus spreads swiftly worldwide, it has a powerful effect on 33 nations in various areas of the world affected by it. According to Khan and Fahad 2020, coronavirus has affected almost worldwide, whereby in early 2020, 33 nations afflicted with this coronavirus reported 78,966 deaths caused by the coronavirus, and the mortality rate climbed from around 2,468 fatalities per day owing to the coronavirus. Anticipating the virus spread, the government has implemented virus regulation ranging from isolation, social and physical distance to broad-scale societal limitation. This situation necessitates that people have to stay at home to work and study. This study aims to explore the effectiveness of the utilization of RTL in teaching and learning English among teachers and students. According to Muhammad Salah Al-Shamrani 2019, most learners are concerned about the necessity of technology in executing the online learning process. Therefore, it was deemed critical that the learner be supplied with the necessary technology entities such as internet connection and computers before beginning online learning. In addition, content producers must support establishing an easy-to-use help desk to resolve the issue asked by the learners. According to Orlando and Atat 2015, the inclusion of technology adds new aspects to consider in terms of teaching methodology and the design of learning experiences. As for our problem statement, the main reasons for this study are today's situation with this pandemics. Students cannot have their class face-to-face like they usually do, and they have to go through online classes instead. Why the teacher has to develop new ideas on how to handle this situation as it never happened before. The teacher should know how to ensure that all of her or his students get their lesson effectively, even there might be some challenges during RTI learning. Students, especially those who live in rural areas, have lots of lacking in terms of connectivity and devices. Some of them cannot even afford to buy those devices such as mobile phones and laptops. As for the teacher, we have to take those matters seriously, as we should be fair to all our students and make sure that they get to learn effectively even during this pandemic. Thus, it is our concern to study this topic to explore more on this topic. Our research objective is to explore the effectiveness of the utilization of RTL in teaching and learning English among teachers and students. Next, to find the challenges that occurred in teaching and learning English during RTL among teachers and students. Lastly, to analyze the most common ELT methodology used in teaching English via RTL. The research questions for this study is: how effective is the utilization of RTL teaching and learning English among teachers and students? Next is: what are the challenges that occurred in teaching and learning English during RTL among teachers and students? Lastly, what is the most common ELT methodology used in teaching English via RTL? The epidemic COVID-19 has forcibly transformed teaching and learning in Malaysia's education from face-to-face to online, resulting in new experiences and practices for many teachers and students. According to Pitambah Powder 2020, the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic spread has caused widespread anxiety, stress, and concern among people all across the world. It has wreaked havoc on every element of human existence, including education all around the world. This research on online learning has been conducted while pandemic COVID-19 is occurring. For example, Roida Pakpahan and Uni Fitriani 2020 conducted a study entitled Analysis of the Use of Information Technology in Distance Learning in the Middle of Corona COVID-19 Pandemic Virus. Information technology plays an essential role in the implementation of distance learning during the pandemic. According to Babson Survey Research Group 2030 survey of online learning, more than 7.1 million higher education students are enrolled in at least one online course, accounting for nearly 33% of all higher education students. As a result, online education has become an effective means on keeping educational activities operational and avoiding the potential loss of academic session caused by the lockdown in most parts of the world. As for the challenges, some researchers has clearly stated that this online learning or remote teaching learning has its disadvantages or challenges that will face by the students and even will occur to the teachers. Furthermore, according to Duraku and Hokha 2020, educators' attitude on teaching methods have been shown to impact the amount of technology integration in the classroom. Therefore, they are likely to play a crucial role in the effective implementation of online learning.
Next, methodology. Methodology is the specific procedure or techniques used to identify, select, and analyze information regarding the topic. This study uses purposive data from 31 respondents, which involved 25 students and 6 English teachers from Sekolah Menengah Kebahasaan Datuk Jaafar Hassan, which located in Perlis. Mixed or multi-methods that consist quantitative and qualitative data used in this study. Besides, due to the movement control order, the questionnaires were made in Google Form. Then, the questionnaires were distributed through an online platform such as WhatsApp. The questions were made separately for both categories, teachers and students, based on the research objective. This study was used to gain their feedback and opinion based on their experience having English class lessons online. The respondents were given 40 questions. For students, the questions were given 10 questions to explore the effectiveness of the utilization of RTL in English learning, 7 questions to find the challenges that occurred in learning English during RTL. Meanwhile, 10 questions were made to identify the effectiveness of the utilization of RTL in teaching English, 7 questions of the challenges that occurred in teaching English during RTL, and study the most common ELT methodology preferred by the teachers in teaching English via RTL. The type of questions used was Likert scale and open-ended. The results that have been collected are presented in a pie chart, bar graph, and timetable. In our study, we found the results based on the questionnaires have been answered by the respondents. Few previous research are used to support our findings. It is less effective to utilize RTL English teaching for the teachers. Most of them indicate that students are not responsive in their class. Furthermore, most of them preferred having face-to-face class rather than conduct the lesson online. According to Donald, Elizabeth, Brian, and Mohammad in 2015, the face-to-face lesson is more effective than e-learning, making the learning process easier to conduct. In the learning process, having productive, clear explanation interpretations are crucial. The face-to-face method consists of these elements. Meanwhile, most of the students agree with the advantages of learning English through online class, such as they like the way of how the information are presented digitally. However, they still prefer with traditional class rather than having the English lesson conducted online. According to ICO and Iconic School, the teacher helped them to refocus on the lecture in school. This is because the students are easily distracted in RTL lessons.
RQ2, what are the challenges that occurred in teaching and learning English during RTL among teachers and students? Teachers, the most challenging thing for teachers during RTL is the difficulty to clarify the difficult things. 66.7%, which is 4 respondents, strongly agree with this statement, while 33.3% agree that it is difficult to clarify the difficult things. Second, the students prone to cheating than conventional classroom-based learning. 100% of the respondents agree with this. For students, the most challenging thing is that online learning had created a sense of reliability to the internet. 68%, which is 17 of the respondents, strongly agree, and 6 respondents agree, and only 2 disagree in this statement. Second, the students feel isolated from their friends and teachers during online learning. 9 respond, which is 36%, strongly agree, and 6 of the respondents agree that they feel isolated from their friends and teachers during online learning. For discussion, we support our finding with the discussion that has been done by the previous researchers. According to Ibrahim Doyumgak, Ahmed Dahlan, and Mustafa Said Kimias in 2018, it is hard to clarify the difficult things because teachers and academics could not identify the approach to use because of the move to remote education and limited one-to-one engagement student hindered instruction during the epidemic. While for cheating, David C. Eisen in 2014 in his study stated a lot of debate in the literature on the internet's detrimental impact, with prediction of a significant increase in plagiarism and other cheating in the online environment. For students, the most challenging thing is that online learning had created a sense of reliability to the internet. Muhammad Saleh Al-Hamrani in 2019 identified that access to reliable internet connection had been identified as a critical component in realizing the objective of the widespread education. Isolation also one of the problem for students. Jenna Gillett-Swan in 2017 state that the one-size-fits-all strategy has a severe flaw to external students and teachers who feel or experience isolation. These students frequently experience various impediments to complete engagement in coursework courses compared to their internal peers. These hurdles may not be encountered by people enrolled in these same courses through face-to-face or hybrid enrollment modalities, presenting another kind of learner to consider in developing and executing online learning activities.
Next, most of the teachers spend their time preparing tasks for their students and revise the lessons first based on the scheme of work, DSKP, and syllabus prepared by KPM. The most common ELT methodology that we can see here used in teaching English via RTL is task-based and teacher-centered.
In conclusion, based on our study, most of our respondents do not find this online learning effective. As for students, most of them do not emphasize the shift of online learning from the traditional based classroom. Most of them believe that remote teaching and learning is not convenient as the conventional classroom based, We also find that many challenges occurred during this online learning. The teachers also have faced some difficulty maintaining their teaching effectiveness by using various methods during this RTL. For recommendation, as such for the effectiveness of the implementation of RTL in ESL classroom, Ministry of Education should provide some deliberate and successful approaches to maintain learning opportunities throughout this period. Ministry of Education can recommend that leaders of education systems and organizations establish strategies for continuing education through other modalities during the period of essential social isolation.
So that's all from us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.